Muldrotha players, check my answer on this one. You guys should know. Muldrotha has an effect where it allows you to play a permanent of each type from your graveyard. On each of your turns, you're allowed to play one permanent of each type from the graveyard for that turn. So if I cast an enchantment from the graveyard, then that's my one enchantment I'm allowed to cast from the graveyard that turn. If I cast a creature, that's my one creature I'm allowed to cast from the graveyard that turn. And if something has multiple types, you can choose one of those types that you want to cast for the turn. So I can choose to say I want to cast this as an enchantment for the turn, and then still be able to cast my Grizzly Bears as my one creature for the turn. But because I already cast an enchantment for the turn, I can't cast another enchantment out of the graveyard. Unless, if that Muldrotha were to leave the battlefield and come back, then it would become a new object. Now what does that mean and why does that matter? Now an object is basically anything that you can target plus an emblem, minus players in graveyards. By the way, if anybody knows a better way to explain what an object is, then I would love to hear it. But when an object, like a creature, would move from one zone to another zone, then it becomes a new object and it loses all memory of its previous self. It becomes treated like it's a new creature even though it's the same card. So if we were to use Muldrotha to play our one enchantment from the graveyard, which was this Kaya's Ghost form, then we sacrifice Muldrotha and then Kaya's Ghost form brings it back to the battlefield. This Muldrotha that came back is a new Muldrotha and doesn't remember about anything from before, so it can allow us to play another one enchantment from the graveyard again. But there's one permanent type that does have its own limits to how many can be played a turn, and that is a land. But there are some cards that can break those rules. So if I were to say that I'm playing 2 additional lands for Azusa for the turn, then sacrificed her, then recast her from the graveyard with Muldrotha for its one creature for the turn, then just like with Muldrotha, Azusa becomes a new object with no memory from before and allows us to play 2 more additional land drops for the turn. Land drops are special. A player can normally only play 1 land per turn unless an effect increases that number. But we still consider any land drops that were played previously as part of that land count for the turn. So if I play my land for turn and then the 2 additional lands with Azusa, and then Azusa goes to the graveyard, and then afterwards I play an Oracle of Mul Daya, well with my 1 land drop and Oracle of Mul Daya, I have 2 land drops I can make for the turn, but I've already played 3, so I'm past my limit. A long time ago, it did used to work that way where it refreshes the land drops a turn, but now land drops are pretty much tracked by the game. But with Muldrotha, this effect is tracked by Muldrotha itself.